Welcome to the Copperfield Electric Podcast. This is The Deep Dive, the show where we take a pile of sources, articles, notes, research, and pull out the really important stuff. Think of it as your fast track to getting up to speed. We aim for some surprising facts, maybe a little humor, just to keep things interesting. So today we're diving into something pretty big. The massive surge expected in EV fast charger growth in 2025. We're talking about a future where maybe range anxiety isn't such a big deal anymore, where charging on the road is quick, common, almost like stopping for gas now. That's what we're digging into. We'll look at what's really pushing this trend, what it means for EV owners, for you, and the whole system around it. And we'll touch on why local electrical pros like, Copperfield Electric, are so vital in all this. Our sources, a pretty detailed article on this charger growth, plus some info on Copperfield services. I'm your host, ready to walk us through this. And with me is our expert here to help connect the dots and figure out why the shift is kind of a big deal. Our goal is simple, help you understand what's key and why it actually matters. Okay, let's get into it. The main takeaway from the sources seems pretty clear. EV fast charger growth surging in 2025. It's not just a maybe, it's like a global thing now. But when we say surge, what's really driving it? Is it just more EVs? Or are there other kind of deeper factors making this happen so fast?
Yeah, it's definitely more than just the number of cars. It's like a perfect storm brewing. You've got, first off, this huge boom in people actually buying EVs. Automakers aren't just dipping their toes in anymore. They're ramping up EV sales targets like crazy. It's a real shift in focus.
Right.
Then, tied right into that, is people demanding convenience. They want their EV to be just as easy to live with as their old gas car. Plus, you've got government stepping in greener policies, tax credits popping up all over, making it more attractive to own an EV. And maybe the biggest piece, huge investment. Manufacturers pouring serious money into building out the charging infrastructure itself.
Okay, so it's coming from all angles: policy, manufacturers, buyers. And you mentioned convenience, which makes me think about range anxiety. That's been the big psychological barrier, right?
Yeah.
How does this fast charger boom tackle that specifically?
Exactly. That's been the elephant in the room for years. People worried, will I get stuck?
Yeah.
But the rise of these DC fast chargers, these high-power stations, they're putting them in smart places. Urban centers, shopping malls, along highways. We're talking chargers that can pump like 80% charge back into your battery in maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes tops.
Wow.
Think about it. Pull off the highway, plug in, grab a quick coffee, and boom, you've added serious miles. That changes the whole calculation.
Yeah, that really flips the script. From a major worry to just a short break.
Totally. And it's not just happening randomly. You see automakers partnering up with governments, with private companies. Look at Tesla expanding their supercharger network and, crucially, opening many of them up now to other EV brands with adapter.
Oh, right. That's huge.
It is. And you also have these non-Tesla networks popping up along highways. These partnerships are key to getting the scale needed. There was a recent report, actually specifically on these DC charger installs. It projected this almost crazy surge in installations worldwide for 2025. It directly links to people wanting faster, easier public charging. The industry is definitely listening.
So for you listening, what this means is, it's not just about seeing more plugs around. It's about making owning an EV genuinely practical, moving it from something for early adopters to, just normal. It feels like the infrastructure is finally starting to race alongside the cars themselves. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. These fast chargers, what exactly are they? Are there different kinds? And which ones are really driving this big growth spurt we're expecting?
That's a great question because fast can mean different things. The sources point to a few key types really pushing this forward. First, you've got DC fast chargers, DCFCs, sometimes called rapid chargers. These are the kind of workhorses right now. We're talking power levels up to maybe 350 kilowatts.
350 kilowatters? That's a lot compared to home charging.
Oh, yeah. Your typical level 2 home charger might be 7 kilowatters?
Right.
Maybe 10. So a DCFC is pumping out massively more power. Think of it like a fire hose versus a garden hose. They're perfect for those quick top-ups when you're traveling highways, rest stops, maybe shopping centers.
Right, for road trips or just needing a quick boost around town. Makes sense.
Then you get to the really bleeding edge, ultra-fast charging stations. These things are pushing up to 500 kilowatts.
500.
Yeah, it's incredible speed. Adding hundreds of miles of range in, the time it takes to run into a store. These are a huge part of the boom because they slashed that waiting time down to almost nothing. Minimal downtime. And obviously we have to mention Tesla Superchargers. Their network was kind of the pioneer, and it's still growing globally. But the big news now, like we touched on, is more and more locations are opening up to non-Tesla EVs if they have the right adapter.
Which is just massive for everyone else, right? Suddenly that huge network isn't exclusive.
Exactly. It adds a ton of capacity to the public pool. It's a really positive step towards maybe a more unified system down the road.
Feels like it. More inclusive.
Definitely. And finally, the sources also talk about fast public charging hubs. These are popping up more in cities and suburbs, often run by private companies or utilities. They're super important for people who maybe can't charge at-home, apartment dwellers, for instance, or commuters needing a quick charge during the day. They're really changing the landscape in built-up areas.
So thinking about all these options, what stands out to you listening? For me, it's just the sheer variety now and how it seems targeted. Like no matter your situation, highway trip, city living, suburbs, there's increasingly a fast option becoming available. It feels like it's all about flexibility.
Yeah, and connecting this to the bigger picture, this fast charger surge isn't just about charging cars faster. It has these ripple effects across the whole EV world and even beyond. First, it just makes wider EV adoption happen faster. Simple as that. When cities and highways feel more EV-friendly because chargers are visible and quick, people who are on the fence worried about getting stranded, they feel more comfortable making the switch. It builds confidence for, the average driver, not just the tech nerds.
Right. It takes away some of that perceived risk. Makes it feel like a more logical choice, less of a gamble.
Precisely. Second big thing, new business models. This is really interesting. You're seeing retailers, restaurants, even old school gas stations putting in fast chargers.
Yeah.
Why? It's not just about selling electricity. It draws people in.
Right. Keeps them there longer.
Exactly. It increases dwell time. While your car charges for 20, 30 minutes, you're likely to shop or eat or grab that coffee. So that parking spot becomes a way to get customers to stick around and spend money. It's changing how businesses think about their space.
That's smart. Turns a chore charging into an opportunity for the business and, well, maybe a more pleasant break for the driver.
For sure. And the third big ripple effect, maybe the most crucial, lower emissions, greener cities. More charging infrastructure, especially fast charging, just accelerates the move away from gasoline cars, particularly in cities where air quality is a huge issue. So it directly helps cut down on pollution, makes cities healthier, and helps meet those clean energy goals everyone's talking about. It's a visible step towards cleaner air.
Okay, so when you put it all together, what does this mean for us? It really sounds like a win-win. More convenience for drivers and actual benefits for the environment. Faster charging, more places to do it, cleaner air. It really feels like the pieces are falling into place now, making EVs truly mainstream.
And looking ahead, past 2025, the sources suggest these trends are only going to continue, maybe even accelerate. We should expect even more expanded charging networks. More chargers showing up in all sorts of places, retail parks, more rest stops, definitely lining major freeways, making long EV trips much less stressful.
That would be amazing. No more mapping out charging stops like a military campaign.
Right. And alongside that, expect faster charging technology to keep improving. Both the batteries in the cars and the chargers themselves are getting more efficient. That means even quicker charging times are likely on the horizon, really blurring that line between a charge stop and just a quick break. And importantly, there's a big push for standardization and access. We should see more networks moving to easier payment systems, maybe just tap to pay like at a store and open protocols, less need for like 5 different charging apps on your phone.
Oh, that would be welcome. Simplify the whole process.
Definitely. And finally, just overall EV ecosystem growth. You'll see better integration between Tesla's network, the other public networks, and even home charging.
Yeah.
A more joined-up, robust system for everyone.
Okay, this all sounds fantastic for public charging, but it does raise a question. While public options are getting so much better, what about charging right at home? That convenience of waking up to a full battery every day. Is home charging still as vital when the public network is booming like this?
That's a really important point. And the answer is absolutely yes. Even with great public options, for most people who own an EV, having a home charger is still, well, the gold standard for convenience. You get unbeatable ease, control. You charge overnight, on your schedule, no queues, no detours, wake up, car's ready. And that is exactly where having, trusted local electrical help comes in.
Absolutely, because installing a level 2 charger at home that's the faster kind usually needs a 240-volt circuit like a dryer. That's serious electrical work. You might need panel upgrades, new wiring, and has to be done safely, meet all the codes. It's definitely not a weekend DIY project for most people. You need pros. Which brings us back to companies like Copperfield Electric. Our sources highlight that this is exactly what they do, EV charger installation, for homes and also for businesses.
Right. They know how to handle the level 2 setups, figured if your panel needs an upgrade, make sure everything's safe and compliant. And being family-owned, the sources mentioned they really focus on that quality and safety aspect, which gives people peace of mind.
And they offer broader electrical services too, right? Like they're a 24-hour electrician if you have any urgent electrical issue.
Yeah, that's highlighted. They offer comprehensive electrical services, including 204/7 emergency calls. Their electricians are licensed, bonded, insured, background checked, the full professional standard.
And crucially for listeners in the area, Copperfield Electric serves Orange County. That includes places like Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, Mission Viejo. Basically, that whole region of Southern California.
Exactly.
So the takeaway is, whether you're excited about the growing public network or you want that ultimate convenience at home, having expert electricians like the team at Copperfield Electric is pretty essential to making the whole EV experience work smoothly and safely. They bridge that gap between the car and your home's power. So wrapping up, the excitement around EV fast charger growth surging in 2025. It's genuinely good news for you if you own an EV or are thinking about it. It means less range worry, much better support for longer trips, and just an easier, more convenient experience overall. Really helping EVs compete head-on with gas cars, maybe even pull ahead. It's a huge shift.
Yeah, and this shift, it's more than just swapping gas pumps for chargers. It signals a really fundamental change in how we plan our cities, how we think about personal convenience, even our relationship with energy itself. It kind of invites us all to think about our local electrical grid. Is it ready? Is it resilient? How prepared are we really for this electric future that's, well, clearly arriving fast?
And as that future gets here, just a reminder that for reliable electrical work, especially getting that home charger set up right, Copperfield Electric is there as a trusted local resource. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into the future of EV fast charging. We hope you feel a bit more plugged in, maybe even excited about what's coming down the road.